Welcome to the 5G podcast.
We're glad you're here.
We hope you enjoy our conversation about God, guns, games, goals, and gastronomy.
Now sit back, relax, and enjoy this week's episode. I look up sometimes if I look down.
Maybe.
I was bored in the darkness.
Tom Hardy.
Molded by it.
Tom Hardy is one of the greatest actors of all time.
Tom Hardy is a solid guy, solid actor.
He's also a solid human being.
Yeah, from everything I've heard about him, that's true.
Him and Cillian Murphy.
Yeah. Those
guys are just like...
So what you're saying is Mad Max should have had just Tom Hardy again.
Well, it's a prequel of Furiosa. I heard it was a good movie, though.
I heard it was fine. It just didn't have Mad Max. It was like...
Yeah.
Obviously, they wanted to put the Mad Max saga on the name to get people to go watch the movie, but I can understand the bait and switch.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, there's no Mad Max in this movie.
And Chris Hemsworth's a fine actor.
Yeah, I heard his character was...
I heard he and...
was good.
Is her name Anya Joy-Taylor?
Anya Taylor-Joy, yeah.
I heard she did well in it.
She was fine, yeah.
Which I think it's a first kind of...
Action movie for
her, right?
Yeah.
Which is cool.
From what I heard, most people were surprised, like, oh, hey, she pulled that off fine.
Yeah, so I haven't seen it.
I hadn't seen it.
I don't know if I will.
I don't know if I will either.
Maybe if it comes out on, like, Max or something.
Yeah, exactly, like streaming, but yeah.
It
didn't do well at the box office, probably for the same reason you and I just talked of, like,
yeah,
it's fine, but I don't want to spend the money on that.
But a lot of movies now aren't doing very well.
No.
Like, even the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare
didn't do well.
I thought, I can't give higher praises.
Yeah.
Right? Was a flop, apparently.
Yeah, a flop at the box office. And that's not the only indicator, because sometimes these movies come out on streaming and they do get a lot more popular, or they come out, they flop, but then they kind of like regain a cult following a few years later. Mm-hmm. So that's what happened to John Wick. The first movie was like a disaster.
Yeah. But
then, like, they got that cult following, people started watching it more, and number 2 actually surpassed number 1, like, well and above in the theaters. So
yeah, and then now they've created this,
the whole John Wick cinematic universe.
Another movie just came out too.
The Fall Guy was kind of the other big one that again didn't do well at the box office.
Ryan went and saw that one though, and she said that one was really, really good.
My parents really enjoyed it. Yeah. They said Ryan Gosling. I mean,
and
no surprises. He's a good actor.
What's her name?
Emily Blunt.
Yep.
I almost would have paid money just to go see that movie, just because of Emily Blunt. But I heard she wasn't in it that much. I was like, all right, I don't know if that's worth the movie ticket.
Yeah, it wasn't a movie that. I mean, I have nothing bad to say about the movie. I didn't see the movie, but it just wasn't one that caught my attention, And
when it comes out on streaming, I'll definitely see it. Like, it seems fun enough.
Even there, I don't know. I mean, if Ryan wants to watch it, then maybe I will. But or I would with her. But I might enjoy it. I don't. Yeah. I'm not against watching it. Right?
Oh my goodness, Steve.
Yeah.
Taking a stance. He's dying on this hill.
This is a hill I am dying on, Trevor.
Worst movie ever made.
Garfield came out or is coming out.
Yeah, it came out. Nobody heard about it somehow.
I follow Chris Pratt on Instagram.
Oh, okay.
That's all he's been posting about. And I'm like,
so you knew, all right.
I knew it was coming out, but I didn't pay any attention to it.
I heard it came out and then didn't really hear anything about it other than comparing it to Furiosa, because they both released the same weekend. They're like, yeah, Furiosa beat Garfield by $2 million or whatever. Ooh. But the budget of Garfield was like what they made over the weekend, and Furiosa still has like 5 times that much to recoup.
I don't know how. Well, I know how they spend that much, but I don't know how they justify spending that much on these movies that are like, for example, there's the movie that I really, really enjoyed, and I forgot the name of, Sisu.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It came out, and it was
like a foreign action flick.
Yeah, Swedish, I believe. But it was a fantastic movie.
Yeah.
Amazing movie. It was John Wick, but in World War II killing Nazis instead of killing gang members.
Yeah.
So, like, you can't go wrong with this.
Right. It's good action flick.
And their budget was like $20 million.
Seems pretty reasonable
but
for
they made like a lot more than that. And it's like,
you don't need to...
And I think it was way better than 90% of the movies in the past 5 years.
Yeah, coming out of Hollywood.
Coming out of any other, like, independent of wherever it comes out of. But, yeah.
That's just because Hollywood has the bloat. They always have the big budgets to compare that.
It's just interesting, like...
Yeah. If you only spend $20 million and you make $80 million or whatever, you're like, hey, that's phenomenal. That was a job well done. But if you spend $180 million on your movie and you only make, I don't know, $200 million, you're like, it's not worth it. Like,
no,
you're not like generating.
That's a 10%-ish return on investment.
Yeah,
and it's like
the amount of money you put into your movie does not guarantee you pull more people into theater seats.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Advertising's important, surely, but
I did watch an analysis of movie theaters in general recently, and it was very interesting because movie theaters, because not a lot of people are going out to see these movies, are struggling, obviously, and so I don't know if you've noticed this, but they've started having retro movie nights where they'll show
they're airing old movies,
4th or 5th or 6th Star Wars movie, or like the old Indiana Jones or whatever,
Lord of the Rings at ours,
some of the older movies, and those theaters sell out.
People go watch an old movie for a cheaper ticket, get some popcorn.
But so it's like, it's interesting that, and like the price of a ticket hasn't gone up that much since when we were kids. I think when we were kids, a child's ticket was like $7.
Sure.
And now for an adult, it's $10.
$10 is on the low minimum. Like on average, movie tickets are like $14, $15 across the nation now.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, 10
really?
10 is definitely low.
Doesn't the Cinemark right here have?
I think if you're on the movie club or whatever, you get a discount. Yeah. Average movie ticket price is not $10.
Really? I did not know that.
That's 2022. That doesn't help me. 2022 says 12.
Okay, but that's still
all right.
Yeah. No, that backs your story. Okay, wow. All right, I guess.
Yeah.
So maybe that is a little bit more. You go from $20 for a date night to get the tickets to $30. That's a little bit.
Well, then so then maybe some of the inflation does definitely come. You see this one maybe more noticeable at the concession stand.
Oh no! I'm not even going to argue that. Like, I have not.
$10 for a tub of popcorn? What?
No, that's the concession stand is ridiculous.
Because that's how a movie theater has to make the profits. I get that, but
I actually looked. I at one point in time I was like, it'd be cool to open a movie theater.
But your profit margin is so low.
Oh, it's so low, except on concessions.
Jeez.
So I think, and I might be wrong on some of the numbers and timeline of it, but this is the general idea: is in the first opening weekend, any movie ticket sales, 90% of it goes back to the studio for the first week.
Okay.
Then the second week, it's like it just drops down from there. Like second week is 80%, third week is 70%, and then it's that margin that 10%, 20%, 30% is what the movie theater takes home. So they have to make all of their money back through
concessions. But then they have these giant facilities. The equipment to show movies is not cheap. I've seen that. Like you got to have a big staff because you got to have big cleaning and all the concessions, and it's a lot. It's a lot at a movie theater.
Yeah, I'd really be interested to see the balance sheet of a single movie theater, and I'd be interested to see. Have you ever been to the Roadhouse Theater in Scottsdale? They do something pretty interesting.
Is it just a little one screen movie theater? Or?
No, it's a full blown movie theater. They've got the nice chairs in all of their theaters though, and they have you can order food like a meal.
Oh yeah,
like,
okay.
It's dinner in a show kind of thing. I think
I've heard of this. Yeah,
and their food is really good. It's a little bit pricier, but like
experience.
Yes, but also it's not unreasonable. Like if you
for how good it is.
Yeah, I mean it's on the expensive side of how good it is.
Okay.
But if you think about it in terms of like value per dollar of movie theater concessions, right? So if you equalize your dollars spent to the quality of food based off of what you're getting, so like instead of a $10 tub of popcorn, you're getting a $15 tray of nachos.
Gotcha.
Right? It's like $15 for a tray of nachos, and it's not like the liquid cheese in like a chip. Right? It's like got the guac, the meat on it. Like it's like a restaurant style nachos for $15-$17 or something like that. So you're like in at least for me, my value per dollar is higher there.
You were going to spend $10 on popcorn anyway.
Exactly.
So like
if I spend $7 more and get 7 times more value,
higher quality,
right? Yeah, it makes sense to me
to have a dinner and a movie.
Yeah. Right. And Ryan and I have gone there a couple times, and
it's not bad.
It's pretty cool and very nice facilities, like
very clean, kind of high class.
It's
a good idea. I might have to try that out. It'd be fun.
Yeah, and they have their menu is large.
Do you like a normal movie theater? You buy your tickets at the door, you walk in, and it's concessions. You order your food right there, or
you order from your chair.
You go sit down first.
Yeah,
order
and
from
they have
the chair.
A menu there, and there's a little reading light if it's already dark, so you can actually order in the movie.
What? Okay, I was going to be my next question. Are you expected to like show up early to the movie? And
you probably should, just because.
Yeah,
it's nice. I enjoy
so you can get your food by the time the movie starts.
Yeah, Ryan and I will tell them like, hey, we want our appetizers when the movie starts, and then like 30 minutes later bring in them.
Oh, that's stuff. That's kind of cool.
Gotcha.
Nice.
They just say, "Yep, we got you," and then you know we finish the appetizers like during the ads after.
Yeah, the trailers,
the movie or whatever, or not in the middle of the movie, but like right at the beginning of the movie-ish, 15 minutes in, and
then they bring you food
let it sit for 15 minutes, and then the main thing comes in, and you're like,
all right, that's kind of cool, actually. That's a good idea.
So, and like they also have popcorn.
Yeah,
if you want that, and it's a big tub. I think it's unlimited too. So like, but it's a big bowl, and it's you can get flavored popcorns. So like, Ryan's favorite one is like this jalapeno cheddar, which
not bad.
So, yeah, I would recommend, and I think places like that are going to probably be the future of movie theater.
Yeah, because they'll have to adapt to survive.
Yeah,
like since COVID, really.
Yeah, like if there's one of those where the Cinemark is, that's the only theater I would
like. Closer to here.
Yeah. The only problem is this one's out in Scottsdale.
Right.
So it's not too far of a drive, especially on like a Friday night when there's not as much traffic.
Yeah.
But 20-30 minute drive.
It's the future of movies. Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Yeah. Anyway.
Just talking about overblown budgets. You just watched before airing the Rings of Power Season 2 trailer.
Oh, yeah.
Which is as expensive as a movie.
The
trailer, probably, actually. If Season 1, I think, was like $200 million.
I think for the 3 seasons, isn't it $1 billion?
$1 billion, that's
for the 3 seasons that they've docketed already?
It's insane. It blows my mind. Yeah. So, yeah, that trailer probably was a movie.
Yeah, probably.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
If it was a 20 million, like a low budget movie, for 2 minutes.
They are getting more for their dollar in terms of hours of content.
Because it's straight to streaming, or you mean 8 hours?
It's 8 hours instead of 2.5, 3.
Yeah, 8 episodes.
For 200 million, so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you suffer in the writing department.
Yeah. I'll probably watch the second season.
I don't think you should.
No?
No. It might look good, but...
Oh, it's on Prime, though, and Prime now has the stupid ads.
Prime has ads, yeah. Unless you pay for the higher tier.
Maybe I won't then.
I don't... From what I can tell from the trailer, they're suffering from still trying to use some of the original story and adding their own stuff, and now that they're one season into this like weird mix, it's just not good. Like they're still trying to mix part of the story that Sauron like was hidden amongst the elves for some time, but they already revealed that he was Sauron at the end of season 1,
and he was a human,
and Galadriel knows this and doesn't tell anyone.
Yeah.
And so then in season 2 trailer, we see he's living amongst the elves as an elf, but he looks just like he did in season 1, and Galadriel knows he's Sauron. So why does she not tell anyone?
Yeah.
So they're too far down their own hole that they've dug.
Of confusion and kind of fluffery.
The story is just going to be so bloated. It's not going to make any sense. It'll look nice. I don't doubt that at all. But
yeah,
is that worth your 8 hours? No.
Yeah. I don't know.
Nah.
We'll see. We'll see if I watched it or not.
The internet's memeing on it. I should have had you read the comments after watching that trailer.
The
YouTube comments are hilarious because the trailer shows Halbrand, who's Sauron, but now he has a new elf name who looks just like the Sauron from season 1. But it's just him with a wig, and now he's an elf. Yep. So everyone's like, the comments are like, and they were all of them deceived, for another wig was made. Like they're just memeing on his wig. Because it doesn't look that good.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
So like, oh no, the elves! We didn't know Sauron was here. There's some good memes.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I watched season 1, the entirety of season 1, and I didn't hate it. I didn't love it.
Yeah,
but I didn't hate it. I don't know if it's. Yeah. Just shaking your head.
No.
Okay, so what are your thoughts on the House of the Dragon?
House of the Dragon, I didn't
switch gears real quick.
Yeah, because they also, I don't know how they planned that. They also dropped their trailer.
Their season comes out sooner, though.
I believe so. Yeah,
their comes out in July, and Rings of Power is end of August.
Which the first time around they were like at the same time.
Yeah, they're very close. Yeah.
I didn't finish season 1 of House of the Dragon.
Nor I. I watched the first 3 or 4 episodes. Whenever they time jumped,
I think 3 or 4, same here as well, which is 3 episodes more than Rings of Power, I guess. So I saw 1 episode of that. House of the Dragon was fine. I don't know. I guess it didn't really capture me enough to keep watching.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of where I was with it as well. I'll probably try and watch the season 1 because I heard great things about season 1 overall.
Right? Well, I'd be worried because a lot of people remarked, especially in the second half of season 1, they liked the old king character, but spoilers, he dies. So it's like, is season 2 going to grip you the same then? If a lot of people really like that actor, his performance, the character writing.
I thought that I honestly kind of wish that they had kept it. I liked the younger
actress, that young character.
Yeah, what was whatever her name.
The character's name or the actor's? Both. She's a Targaryen. That's all I know.
Yeah, Rhaenyra. Yeah, I don't know. I just thought it would have been cool to see that part of a royal.
The intrigue there was a little bit more.
It was interesting.
Political.
I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't love it, but it was fine. I could see why people liked it, and
do you think you'll ever watch more of it or finish it or anything?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it depends how far they're going. If they end up doing another 5 or 6 seasons like Game of Thrones, and they create another epic, if they totally capture that magic again, I'll go and watch all of it. But I don't know if I love the Game of Thrones universe so much. I'm going to be so excited to watch each episode.
Well, and it also left a bad taste in your mouth with the last 2 seasons.
Yeah.
7 and 6 and 7?
7 and 8, yeah. It was That's why I'm I don't love the Game of Thrones universe. I think it's fine.
I think the canonical Game of Thrones universe is really cool. But the stuff that was written
after
without the books as
book
reference is probably.
Yeah. In terms of is this my favorite? I see why Game of Thrones works so well because it's kind of it's like a low fantasy setting, and that was good for like a wide audience. The most magical thing they had in Game of Thrones was dragons.
Yeah.
Other than that, there was like very minimal like magic.
Was there any magic? A little bit with her and like the fire stuff.
Yeah, she's immune to. Again, it's very low fantasy, low magic.
Yeah. Which low fantasy, honestly, is like a genre that I think is not tapped into enough.
No, and it's
in popular culture.
And it's good. Game of Thrones did it perfectly because it hits like a wide audience. Mm-hmm. A lot of people who would not watch fantasy shows at all because those are for nerds liked Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
It was perfect. So for me personally, I'm knee deep, probably head deep into like nerddom, where it's like the low fantasy. That's not my favorite.
Sure.
I would love just like super high fantasy, Lord of the Rings,
orcs, elves, dwarves, dragons,
magic, just full blast. Rings of Power, or sorry, not Rings of Power. Wheel of Time is another. That's pretty high fantasy, like magic all over the place there.
Yeah. No other races though, right?
Yeah, they have the trolls, the Trollocs, which you find are just like actually corrupted humans.
Right. Yeah. But other than them though, there's not like it's humans and Trollocs.
Yeah.
Like elves and dwarves.
True.
And ents and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I get what you're saying though. Lots of magic.
Decent amount of magic.
Sorry,
Go ahead.
I keep interrupting you, and I apologize.
No, that's fine.
What is there a definition of high and low fantasy that is it based off of the magic content, or is it based off? In my mind, I've always considered it more in line with the different races that there are.
Yeah.
And if there's elves, dwarves, and dragons, that's high fantasy.
Right.
And if there's a lack of those, it's low fantasy.
It's pretty low fantasy.
Right.
That is actually an interesting delineation. I don't know where the official cutoff would be, because it probably is a little more obscure.
I like the magic one more, though, I think.
Yeah.
I like the idea of, is there a lot of magic or a little bit of magic? Okay.
Because in Game of Thrones, a normal person in the Game of Thrones universe can live their whole life and never experience magic once.
Or a dragon.
Or a dragon. Nothing. Like, it's just, they're a normal person.
They're a peasant.
In a medieval world.
Yeah. Not even really fantasy at that. Like,
no.
Like, the only fantastical thing about it is the dragons, really.
Yeah.
Like, the rest of it is, they do war the same. They have...
You've maybe heard of White Walkers, and that sounds a little creepy.
Yeah, them.
But maybe.
Yeah.
If you live in the South, you've probably never heard of a White Walker. You don't care.
Yeah.
Oh, zombies? Whatever.
Snow zombies?
Yeah, I don't think they exist.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Whereas, like a high fantasy world, everyone knows about the magic.
There are giants in Game of Thrones.
There are giants, yeah, but again...
No, Matt, I think I like the magic delineation more than the race delineation.
If you put yourself in the shoes of a normal person in the world, what do they experience? Is it realistic compared to our world? Then that's probably like a lower fantasy.
So here's a question then.
Yeah.
This is way off of the topics of what we were planning.
Hit me with this.
Harry Potter, high or low fantasy?
Ooh.
Normal person. Never gonna come in contact with magic.
Yeah, because it's the whole...
Because the government...
The whole world is invisible. The magic world.
Dragons. Goblins.
Goblins, yeah. How do the goblins hide? Okay, Harry Potter has a lot of unanswered questions.
I mean, there's a bunch of goblins living in tunnels. I mean, we just call them sewer Jews, right? Isn't that the...
Got a bunch of goblins down in Chandler or whatever. Like,
but like also centaurs.
Yeah, the hippogriffs, the
giant spiders.
It's got a lot of fantasy.
They've got freaking Ungolith in there.
Your answer to that is that J.K. Rowling didn't know what she was writing. There's so many unanswered questions in the Harry Potter universe.
Well, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think she was planning on writing a book after the first one.
I don't remember. I don't know the story.
Because the first one, if you think about it, it kind of closes itself out.
It does kind of end.
He defeats the Dark Lord. He gains the Sorcerer's Stone, which never makes an appearance again, I don't think.
No. Maybe in the books it's mentioned somewhere. I don't remember. I don't know. Book 7 killed me. I never read that one. So.
Oh, Book 7 was the worst. This is unpopular opinion. I know.
I think that's pretty popular, actually.
No, everyone loves Book 7.
Oh, everyone in my family hated Book 7.
Well, your family's intelligent.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Book 7 is probably one of the worst story books books that are supposed to tell a story. I had more fun reading a textbook.
Oh, jeez.
Than I did in book 7.
I had
it's just, I'm stupid. I'm walking through a forest for 70 chapters.
Well, so that's to lead into my next joke. I had more fun reading the Bible, the Old Testament, because my dad, who read book 7, he always compares it to, he's like, yeah, and then they wander around in the wilderness for 40 years, like the Israelites.
Exactly
like, the Old Testament's more exciting than this.
There's more killing in the Old Testament, at least, because there's talking donkeys.
Because it's kind of funny when they're just like, can we go to the promised land? No, you got to wander around. Do another lap. Whereas this, we're just looking for Horcruxes. Oh, we don't know where they are.
And also, like, it was the fastest and slowest book on the planet. I don't know how she did it.
Because it was like this
because
thick,
it was the size of the New Testament in Latin.
Yeah.
And then there was literally hundreds of pages in between important things.
Jeez.
But then all of a sudden, at the end of the book, they have found every single Horcrux.
Magically, yeah.
Like, just like that. And it's like, okay, like, we've known about Horcruxes for like 3 books now or something like that.
And you only found one at the end of book 6.
Yeah.
That was it.
And I think he had 7 of them.
He had 7 total, yeah.
It's like, and you're just done now? Like, what the heck?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
I just thought it was the worst. And also, why was it 2 movies? Well, why it was 2 movies. It was for cash. They just wanted money.
The moolah.
But, like, come on.
That did not need to be 2 movies, yeah.
No.
So from your lead-in question, I obviously don't love Harry Potter because it's not a good fantasy world. The story can be fine. I don't want to anger anybody. If you're reading the book for the story, and I think that's what she intended, it's a nice little high school. The world building,
World building is shaky at best.
Yeah, she's not a good world building fantasy writer.
The story is reasonably compelling overall throughout. I would say until book 6, like through book 6.
Yeah, I have no problem with that claim. Yeah, I agree. It was fine. They're enjoyable books.
Yeah.
But yeah, compared to other fantasy worlds, which are obviously it's a fantasy world that's different from our own. The world building should be a compelling aspect because people want to know about that world. That's a main draw of fantasy stories. Harry Potter's kind of on the lower tier.
If not bottom of the barrel.
No, it's not. It's not bottom of the barrel for sure. But it's
in terms of world building.
Yeah.
What? I can't think of a fantasy either high or low that has worst world building overall.
Yeah, I guess I'd have to think on that one. Nothing comes to mind right now because then it's like, if your fantasy world has such poor world building that's like, lower than Harry Potter, is it just like 0? Is that even fantasy? Is it just bad?
Well, I think by our definition, you can have it.
Yeah.
That, but I guess I'm just meaning like there's so many holes in the plot of Harry, or not in the plot, but in the world. Like
the continuity of the world.
How do you hide all this?
Yeah.
Like, we use magic to hide it. It's like, okay. But like,
does the normal government know about the magic government?
Exactly. And also, like, first of all, if you're a group of effectively all powerful wizards,
yes,
or close enough to all powerful wizards, why don't you run the world?
Yeah, how come the Death Eaters don't try to like run the real world?
How do the Death Eaters not just use their magicalness to influence 1 million people to vote for them for government?
Yeah, exactly.
They run the UK now, let's say.
Where is that
plot? They just drop a nuke on Hogwarts. It's like, hey, yeah, you can't teleport into Hogwarts, but parry this, you freaking casual.
Yeah.
Irradiates the entire landscape.
Where is that plot point? Harry Potter 8, like, Voldemort is running for president of the United States. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, or is it like they have some sort of agreement, like,
you know why?
The honor among the evil wizards.
You know why this isn't a thing?
Mm-hmm.
Is because that's exactly how it already works.
Yeah.
There's one guy who's probably evil who says, "Hey, my magic wizards, CIA, I want to win." And they say, do we like you? Are you evil enough? Do you want to nuke people? Yes? Okay.
Approved.
And then they
They work in the shadows.
They work their tentacles and their shadowiness, and they go ha ha ha.
Magic.
You will vote for him.
Yeah.
So, in effect, Death Eaters equals CIA.
That's true. That's true. I mean, basically.
Tinfoil hat.
I mean, look at the Boeing whistleblowers. That's just the most recent example. Like,
oh man,
it's so sad that guy he just committed suicide with 2 bullets to the back of the head again. Don't you hate when that happens?
Okay, but like, how crazy is it?
We're planning on getting into this conspiracy.
No, I wasn't either.
It is not a conspiracy.
No, there's zero conspiracy about this.
It's so obvious.
Let's just paint the picture here. Boeing having some quality control issues.
Right.
Every company goes through those.
Yes.
Every company. There should be an internal review, fix the problems, say, we're sorry. We understand that we're in a high safety environment and that we're failing on our obligations to the public and those who use our planes.
An engineering firm designing an ice cream scoop that has some parts fail, not that big of a deal. Engineering firm designing planes that has some parts fail. It's a little bit of a bigger deal.
Yeah. Right?
All right.
And you know, they needed to figure out what the problem was, but also when they're building such complex machines that fly through the air at near Mach speed.
As you said, there's some quality control issues bound to happen.
Exactly.
There's a lot of parts.
It's almost excusable that there would be some problems, right? The crazy part is that they're like, there's no problems at all.
No problems here. You're like,
plane falls out of the sky. What plane?
The engineers are like, 100%? No problems? Nothing?
What? Both of us work as our engineers.
Our engineers.
I have an engineering degree. You have an engineering degree. You work in engineering. I don't. But
you don't yet.
Yet. Hopefully soon.
Soon.
We know engineers. We know that every once in a while they're over-caffeinated, underslept, and they're sitting there on their computer trying to stare at this part on a freaking Fusion 360 or SolidWorks or whatever CAD program they're using, and they're like, I don't know how to make this work. And they've got an Indian guy trying to explain to them how to create this thing
on YouTube,
on SolidWorks, and they're like, I don't understand. And they're like, this will work. And they put some random spec in there.
And they're like, nah, F it, let's go with this.
Yeah, exactly, because they need to go to sleep or else they're going to die of hallucination.
Yeah, and you got to meet a deadline or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah. Every engineer either has done that or knows someone who has done that.
Yep, totally.
So, like, for there not to be a single problem on an airplane that has, 6 million components or something stupid?
That's a pretty big rule, at least at my job, is like, yeah, you're going to have problems. You just, you only get in trouble if you don't, like, own up to it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you're going to have problems.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
And also, your work might not have any problems, but the guy's work that attaches to your work
connected to it,
might cause your piece to have problems because he did something wrong.
Yeah. Which, unforeseen or not. Yeah, no, so you got to work that out.
So they're having problems.
But they're claiming they're not.
They're claiming they're not. And then these couple of guys, I think there's been 2 or 3 of them.
Now?
Yeah.
I think 2 of them died.
I think 2 of them. I think that's right. Yeah. So there's been 3 people who come out and say, hey, ding, 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 massive problem. Just like everyone could have guessed because planes are falling out of the sky.
In case you didn't know.
Or doors are flying off in the middle of flight, which like...
Yeah. I don't know how that one happens.
I have no clue.
Wheels
just...
The door should need like pressure seal.
Also, it wasn't even like the main door where it's like someone could have accidentally shut it incorrectly. Mm-hmm. It was the emergency door.
Yeah.
Like...
Wild.
And these whistleblowers come out and say, hey, there's problems, and 2 of them, like, less than a month later, are dead.
Well, they committed suicide.
That's right, yeah.
They couldn't deal with the stress. It was really sad.
That's right, yeah. Damn. One of them shot himself twice in the head.
The old 2 bullets in the back of the head, man. He got the Clinton treatment.
Yeah, he did.
The Clinton special.
Yeah. The other one, I think, died of a heart attack.
Yes, yeah.
Right, so, you know.
Which... I mean,
not scary at all.
He was probably vaccinated, so...
Considering the CIA has a gun that can literally cause heart attacks.
It can give you heart attacks. I think so, actually, yeah.
You know that they literally have a gun that can cause a heart attack.
I know enough of science that, yeah, that actually sounds very feasible. That doesn't...
They've shown it off in Congress in, like, the 90s or something like that. They're like, Yeah.
In the 90s tier, they were like, that'll never be relevant. It gets chucked in a bin for decades.
Well, they're being accused by the Soviets of like whatever. And Congress is like, are you giving people heart attacks? They're like, oh yeah, we definitely are.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah. Don't tell the Russians.
So like
all the KGB in Congress taking notes.
I love that. All the KGB in Congress.
Sorry, that's not confirmed. Sorry. But
anyway, Boeing is like offing people.
Yeah.
Which is just crazy that they're able to do that. Because it has to be Boeing, right? Like,
yeah.
It wouldn't be. The CIA doesn't care.
No.
The government doesn't care. The government gives Boeing gazillions of dollars every year to build rockets.
Rockets and planes. So you could argue there's some kind of vested interest there. But like,
but Boeing's got a gazillion dollars. They can just like, or I'm sure they know someone in the government who's like, hey, we have a problem, and they're like, don't worry about it, we got it.
Yeah, is it that far-fetched to think that like, I don't know, somebody doesn't want a potential contract with the government and Boeing to end, so the government is actually like willing, like the CIA is willing to help out Boeing with this whistleblower problem?
Well, I don't think so. Here's the thing, though, is the contracts with Boeing can't end.
Oh, okay.
Because and this is something that many what are they called? Like military analysts are saying, including government analysts, is that there's so few military contractors that have the capacity to build what the government wants and needs.
That's true.
That anyone that has a company that does that stuff is almost guaranteed to be successful.
Yeah, you get the contract, guaranteed.
Yeah, it's like, okay, the two plane makers right now are Lockheed Martin and Boeing.
And both of them make stuff for the government.
I don't know if Lockheed Martin does anything else besides make things for the government.
Yeah.
I think Lockheed Martin is literally only making things for the government.
Pretty sure.
Boeing makes passenger jets, but also those passenger jets just happen to be used by the U.S. government for a lot of other things.
Yeah, it's a big jet with a lot of space. We can use that.
What do you think the presidential jet is? It's a Boeing 747.
Yeah.
Yeah, just crazy.
So yeah, I think it would make sense. I think again that Boeing can't lose the contract, I guess, but I don't think it's so hard for the CIA to be like, hey, you want a couple guys on retainer? And Boeing's like, yeah, sure.
Oh,
send them our way.
I definitely think that. That's definitely possible.
It's like, Boeing didn't have to hire their own third party, basically. Sure. So it's Hey, can we get that heart attack gun?
Craziness, though.
Yeah. It's like Death Note status. I think I'd rather believe a Death Note. They're just writing names in a notebook, and that gives people heart attacks than a literal gun you can point at somebody. Like, that sounds more far fetched. Like,
no, they explained how they do it too. It's a disintegrate. It's a capsule that is shot into someone, and it disintegrates and releases a toxin, and that toxin kills them like 30 minutes later.
Just causes your heart to like speed up.
I don't remember. It just causes it to like paralyzes it, or if it causes it to speed up and just like explode or something like that.
Either way works. Yeah. So and it's easy enough to do with a toxin. So we all got to start wearing body armor then.
Yeah. Until they come out with acid guns.
Oh my goodness.
So then you can wear ceramic body armor.
There you go.
Which is better.
It's very heavy, but it is better.
It is very heavy.
Yeah.
Lighter than steel armor, I think.
Yeah, actually probably depends on what your ceramic's made out of, but yeah, it's
ceramic, Trevor. It's just ceramic.
Excuse me. I took a material science class and that offended me. You see,
that's just like saying all steel is steel.
Right, yeah. Well, you got 304, you got 316, you got galvanized.
440, 500.
Yeah, there's lots of steel.
And then you can also have all these stainless steels and stuff like that have all these different mixtures of chromium and carbon in them and manganese and...
Steel is steel.
It's not how it works.
Not true.
It's not how it works. Anyone who has anything to do with the knife industry, the gun industry, or any construction industry, or engineering industry, understands that metals are vastly different.
Yeah.
Like the difference between steel and like regular iron, completely different.
Totally different.
And then the differences in steel is like the difference between like a steel I-beam and a steel spring, like completely different.
Yeah, but might as well be like
different elements.
Different elements, yeah. And then you get into plastics as well, and it's just
oh yeah,
that's just PVC. Oh, that's not PVC. It looks like PVC. That's that right there. That's PTFE
or ABS
or yeah. No, it's wild.
Or PET.
PET.
Polyurethane.
PFDE. It's another one we use. Yeah.
There's a bunch of them.
There's a bunch.
Anyway,
material science. We wanted to have an OPR episode.
Oh yeah, I forgot we were actually going to have like a topic of stuff that.
That's we had some good topics, but we got to put in the headline like why one-page rules is better than Warhammer 40K or whatever.
Yeah, Warhammer 40K sucks. I feel like we ever had that as a title.
Probably, yeah. Actually, so now it's one-page rules is better. Or here's your replacement.
Yeah.
There's
out with the old and with the new.
One-page rules, OPR, as it shall hereafter be referred to as, is just
now parentheses that in our technical paper.
Yes.
Or in our legal document.
Please refer to footnote A, subsection B, one-page rules. It's great. It is a tabletop wargaming rules set. It's its own game that is Warhammer 40K style, because you have little models, you 3D print them or you buy them, you paint them, you play with them, but it's way simpler than Warhammer 40K, way more like user friendly. I mean, the name is called One Page Rules, and you can play on one page, but the actual rules are like 15 something pages.
And then there's supplemental materials, additional stuff that you can add on to it.
Yeah, there's all the extra stuff. But the
base rules are 15 pages.
Yeah, give or take. But that is still way shorter than Warhammer's like
Codex.
Yeah, which again are 200-page rule books, but maybe only 50 pages are actual rules. But then you got to get your Army Supplement Codex, which is probably another 100 pages, but maybe only 25 are rules. So it's still 75 pages of rules you got to read through. Per army. An extra 20 to 25 each. There's a lot of bloat, and Warhammer 40K is notoriously known for like rules lawyering. People are like, well, actually, I think I can do this, and oh, well, my rule book here says that I stop that, and it's one-page rules is simple.
So one thing that we've been playing one-page rules for 2 months now.
Yeah, 2 months.
2 months. We were playing Warhammer 40K originally.
Yep.
The number of dice you have to roll.
Yeah.
And how turns are taken is so much better than one-page rules. To attack, 1 dice roll.
Yep.
You defend, 1 dice roll.
Damage.
Then go to damage.
Boom.
It's very, very simple.
It's risk. I mean,
it really is. Like,
attack, defend.
And I really enjoy. So in Warhammer, there's 5 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
Beginning of round 1, you roll out to see who goes first.
Yeah.
That person moves all of their units and shoots all at once.
Yep. It's it's referred to online for the fans. It's the I go, you go.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas one-page rules is not unique in this, but they have the alternating activations.
Yes.
To keep the players engaged. The I go, you go of Warhammer 40K is just how they've done it for 30 years.
Yeah.
And it's boring because on turn 1, you're moving your whole army. I'm going to go make a sandwich, enjoy it, watch a YouTube video, come back, and you might be done moving your guys.
Ready to shoot, and then I get to roll 3 sets of dice to defend.
Yeah, and then I got to go make another sandwich. Like, or rather, your other friend has got to go make a sandwich. Like, It's so long.
And it also takes a lot longer, in my opinion, to decide where to move your troops.
Oh, sure.
Because in OPR, I'm focusing on 1 unit, right? Yeah. And yes, maybe it'll affect certain things, but if I've split my army a little bit and they're a little bit further away from each other, I don't have to pretend that like, oh, what these guys over here are going to do is going to affect these guys. And also, if one of your units over here has already moved, and this one still needs to move, I don't have to worry about them.
No, yeah.
I can ignore that until the very end and figure out what I want to do at the very end.
Yep.
Whereas the main battle, where you still have to move over here, and I have like 2 more units over here as well, that really depends. So I don't have to think about 3 of my 5 units.
Yes.
I only have to think about 2 of my units and the possibilities of what's going to occur there.
There is still strategy.
Of course.
It's just simpler, if that makes any sense.
Well, and it's not all at once. What am I doing? It's microdose, and you also get more information to make more strategic decisions because your enemies, however many you have, are also going to move in between your movement phases.
Yeah. So your strategy is like it's in shorter bursts. I like that, the microburst. It's more relevant. Like, so it's not really simpler, but you don't have to plan 70 moves ahead.
You're not playing chess with it.
Yeah, you can a little bit.
Yes, of course,
but not a whole lot. Like the lines, your paths to victory are kind of easy, almost like chess. Like good chess players, like you can see moves ahead. You can see your lines to victory. Warhammer is like, I don't know. It's like chess, but if it was like, I don't know. Your board was totally different from their board. You had all different pieces that all did all different things, and that was different from each opponent you played.
Yeah.
And the board was different every time too. Like
the character sheets also in OPR also, they have a free app.
Yes.
All of the units,
free app,
and it's an army builder. It's amazing. It's honestly set up really well.
It's really well done.
It's a really well done app. It's not flashy.
No,
it's not a flashy app. It's got button, like open up list.
It's text.
Yeah,
but there's a couple pictures,
but when you're in battle, for example, I love it. I hated using the stupid Warhammer app.
The Warhammer app, because
it's like, and actually, if the OPR app was this way, it wouldn't be bad because of how you do a round robin turn cycle.
Yeah.
Instead of my turn or you go, I go. Yeah. Right. But the Warhammer app, each unit you have to click and it opens up, and then it's like, oh, I'm using infantry, and then I click my infantry type, and then I click, oh yes, this is my unit. Then I have all the rules.
It's all the keywords. You can just tap on things. Yep. Yeah.
In the OPR one, it's like my army is there. Yeah. I have everything in my army there. I don't have to think about what unit. Oh, what is this one again? Is this a heavy walker or is this a light walker? Oh, that's right. This one over here is a heavy. This one over here is a light. Even though they look exactly the same. Right? It's like, no, they're just on my list. It says this is what it is.
And any abilities, they just have the keywords.
Oh yeah, click on it. Oh, that's what that does. Cool.
There's they have like, I don't know. On weapons, there's like 30 something keywords. Characters probably have 50 something keywords, but you just tap on things and
you don't have to memorize.
It just tells you what they do. Like, it's all the information is easily accessible. It's right there in front of you.
And the phrasing for each of the weapons, and we've found this, is written so concisely, but so specifically that there's no rules questions about what happens.
There's no legalese. Like,
no, it's like, when this happens, this happens.
Yeah.
There's no room for negotiation about it or anything like that.
And most of the time, like, it just makes sense. We'll read it out loud to us playing at the table. We're like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Like, oh, that's a cool rule. I haven't seen that before, but it says that you do this thing right now. Yeah, sure. All right.
Yeah. It's like, you can still give orders. Like, that's still a thing.
Yeah, it's
a little bit different. But.
The list building it still has the same amount of strategy as of building an army in Warhammer.
And the same amount of variety as well.
Same amount of variety, complexity, if you want it. Like, or it can be very simple.
Yeah.
For casual players. It's solid. They don't have any official models, but their big pull is they're model agnostic, meaning you can use any model, any potato chip, any marker coin around the house as a model, so long as it's roughly the same size of what it should be.
Yep.
It's designed to be agnostic. You can play whatever you want,
which is really cool for us because we do a bunch of we all 3D print our models, except for Colin, who
already had a bunch of Warhammer models.
Already had his Warhammer models,
so you can use official Warhammer models.
Exactly. Yeah. But we all 3D print our models, and so we come with like these models. It's like, this is this, and it's like, as long as it's on the same base or close enough,
roughly the same size.
Like, it's like, this is sick. We're going like, this is awesome.
Like, You can't do that in official Warhammer 40K, which we can get to that after. But like I'd say, yeah, this is my big sci-fi fantasy crocodile dude. Okay, here it's on the list. It says he's supposed to have a gun. Now I know my model doesn't have a gun because I wanted him to have the Stegosaurus head as the shield, and that looks cool. And you guys are like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, because rule of cool.
This is my dinosaur. Again, he's supposed to have a gun, but he's a dinosaur and he looks cool. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
He's roughly the same size as the dinosaur with the guns. Like,
yeah.
Just play to have fun. Instead of like, oh, I accidentally built this official Games Workshop dinosaur without the gun attached. So I need to go buy another $80 kit and build this one with the gun attached. There, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a little bit ridiculous. And like one thing I also really love about one-page rules is that I think in like the first page it literally says like, if you don't like these rules, change them up.
Change it. Have fun.
Yeah.
That's the name of the game.
It's literally like, I think it's on the first page, right? Yeah. Where it's like, if this rule doesn't make sense or you don't like how it works, get rid of it.
Change it. Yeah.
Change it. Fix it. Figure it out.
And an addendum is like, if there's a dispute, roll off.
Yeah.
If you want, or just get rid of it. Like, just find an agreement.
And we've done that. We've had multiple discussions on like how we want certain things to work as like a whole for our campaigns
for our group.
Whatnot, right? Like cover we've adjusted and you know the idea of how flying works we've talked about a little bit. Weapon priority, not priority,
weapon but location.
Yeah, exactly.
Just to get rid of some of the unnecessary like bloat or time of
Yeah, because it's like in Warhammer, it's if that unit with that weapon cannot see the other enemy, they cannot shoot.
Yeah.
It's like, well, okay, I didn't realize this, but I accidentally put my pistol in the front.
Yeah.
And so now they're 13 inches away and I can't shoot them, even though
I would have that guy would have been in this spot had I known that, but yeah.
So now it's like
it's almost like in Commander sometimes where you're like, okay, if I would have like memorized the 30-something cards on your board, I know the interaction, but there's just 3 other boards here. That's 100 cards on the table. I'm not gonna have that memorized.
No.
It's like you just make it simple. You play to have fun.
And then you ask like, okay, you're doing something. I have a reaction maybe.
Yeah.
But I need to know where to react. Can we explain the effects?
Yeah. Can you run that down for me? Like, and so that's this that style of rule that we modified of like, okay, the dude with the cannon would not be hiding behind cover if he's in range of an enemy to shoot. If I had known, I would have moved him in range. Like, yeah. So just keep it simple. And that is one comparison is like, okay, if somebody plays Warhammer 40K for the competition, all right, one-page rule does not have competitive. They don't have tournaments. I did actually hear this weekend in the UK, they're at some convention where they're doing their first like tournament.
Really?
For one-page rules.
Are they also an English company?
Yeah, pretty sure. It's just one guy.
I think there's a team of 2 or 3 of them.
Okay, it used to be one guy from the beginning. He made it, but yeah, so maybe they have a little bit more, but yeah, they're doing.
I thought I could be wrong. I don't know.
So I thought, oh, that's pretty big actually. They're doing their first competition. It's kind of cool.
Yeah,
but I think the game thrives on the kitchen table. Like,
oh, for sure. I don't think it needs to go to competition and competitive levels because that just introduces all of the legalese.
Yeah, I know that like that drives a lot of people to Warhammer 40K. It is the most competitive or the most popular tabletop format, tabletop gaming, because of the competitions. That's great if that's what you like, but if you're just there to play a strategy game with your cool miniatures, like one-page rules has got to be like.
Yeah, honestly, I would suggest to anyone who's thinking about getting into the tabletop war gaming,
war games, yeah,
I would 100% suggest OPR over Warhammer.
Because you can get any models you want and just use one-page rules to play, and then maybe if you're jumping into the Star Wars game or the bolt action is like the World War I or World War II war gaming, like you can get any models you want and just open the one-page rule book and play and test it out.
And another thing is that with one-page rules is it's so simple that the learning curve is negligible.
Yeah.
And then it's going to be a great primer if you ever do jump into Warhammer.
A more complicated war game, yeah.
Yeah. You'll understand a lot more if you've played OPR. Jumping into Warhammer, going from Warhammer to OPR is like, it's like a vacation.
It's a breath of fresh air.
It really is, because instead of like, okay, I have to roll to figure out if I can actually, if I attack you, then I have to roll for hits, then you have to roll, and then you
forgot the wound roll.
Oh yeah, that's right. So I have to roll to attack, roll to hit, roll to wound?
No. Roll to hit, roll to wound, then roll to defend.
Right.
Yeah. And that's, from your experience, coming from someone who started in 10th edition Warhammer, was supposed to be the most noob-friendly edition. It was brand new. It was great for new players. It was better for new players compared to 9th edition when I hopped in. But
yeah, and all the just...
one-page rules is quicker. It's easier, so you're going to get more games in, more practice. For playing with your buddies, it's a better game because you can do multiplayer way easier. The I go, you go does not work. That is designed for competitive 1v1 wargaming.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. When we were doing 4-player games,
impossible.
It's like, okay, I'm going to sit on my phone for the next 30 minutes and just dink around, diddly do
nothing,
right?
Whereas one-page rules is quick. You're going to have more fun with your friends. It's cheaper. It's perfect.
It's way cheaper. The rules don't cost anything.
Nope.
The only thing you're going to spend money on is the models.
Yeah. But again, if you were just testing it out, you can literally use like paper models.
Yeah.
You can just print things out and just fold the paper.
Yeah.
Or
use chess pieces.
Yeah, chess pieces. Just
whatever
be
like around the house.
Yeah, these, and you look at the list, you're like, I want to run the rats. My space rats is the army. So these 10 things, there's like this squad of dinky rats, and this 5 pieces are rats with guns.
One really cool aspect about OPR that I've really thought was very cool, and that they have an ecosystem for this already, is the campaign rules.
Yes, yeah. Very cool.
I don't think they have that in Warhammer. I could be wrong about that.
They do, yeah.
Okay.
A little bit, yep.
We've never played those Warhammer rules.
I think they're called Crusades. I forget, yeah.
But the campaign rules and the way it's built into the app where you can just do it all right there is so nice as well.
It is cool.
But the way your units upgrade and get better, it's not even like crazy upgrades. It's like, and it could be random as well. It's like, oh yes, this unit now has better rolls on getting shaken or running away or whatever, right? It's really, really kind of cool.
You can build a narrative campaign as you play the game, and that's something we should point out. We still use the Warhammer lore, the Warhammer universe, because we still love that.
Yes.
Still love, One Page Rules has their own, watered down story. It's not much because of the, copyright.
Yeah.
They have one-to-one crossovers of every official Warhammer army.
Yeah.
But all the names are changed and the lore is slightly changed to be watered down. So but who cares? We're not playing. It's like Games Workshop isn't going to come knocking on our door because you said Space Marines or whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
But we still play with the Warhammer lore, that universe, because we like that universe. It is a fantastic story.
Oh, the universe is great.
So we just pretend. We're just playing a game for fun. Yeah. We're pretending anyway. So we design these narrative campaigns to have fun, and we're playing multiplayer campaign battles. You're leveling up your units. You've got a story oh, he survived this rough battle, but he almost died, so he's got an injured leg now.
Yeah, well, and also we took it a little bit step further last time. Caleb and I wrote some
you guys wrote
story
journal entries,
which was really cool.
Yeah,
we started a new campaign recently,
just last week. Yeah,
had the first battle. I'm playing an army I'm not used to yet. I switched over from the Valor Corps, the Death Corps of Krieg.
The Death Corps of Krieg, copyright, Games Workshop. Yeah,
I switched over from them to the Tyranids. I'm using a faction of them called the Crystalids.
The crystal flavor of Tyranids, yes.
And they're actually, the rule set is very different for each one of them. It's very interesting.
Oh, yeah, nice.
But, so I'm not used to playing Tyranids yet,
Yeah.
So the first battle, I feel like I got pretty wiped. I think I had 1 or 2 units survive.
This was a totally different feel than your previous army.
For sure. Yeah, the not shooting thing, really weird.
It's weird, yeah.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm still loyal to my space lizards.
Yeah. Well, and you even wrote a little exposition for your...
I wrote some blurbs, some story, kind of in the Warhammer universe, but that's one thing I was always salty about, is that the lizard men were only in fantasy Warhammer. They never put them in sci-fi Warhammer. And I was like, dude, why can't we have space lizards? Come on. So I used some of the lore. Again, Games Workshop, don't come to my house. I used one name of one of your lizard characters, and then I just wrote my own story, my own spin-off. Say, yeah, this could exist in the Warhammer universe, or whatever universe we're playing in.
Universe of Viper 9.
That's right. I just used that and wrote my own story of like, yep, these space lizards, they still worship the stars, which is from Warhammer, but we're fulfilling an ancient prophecy and whatever.
It was very cool.
They're space lizards, man. They're from the moon. It's cool.
Yeah, it was very, very cool.
One-page rules, you just go ham. You just have fun.
Yeah, I don't think we can, and I think I can speak for you on this one, I don't think we can recommend it enough if you're wanting to play a tabletop game.
I've recommended it to a buddy at work who hasn't played Warhammer, but he likes the Warhammer lore. He's seen some of the animated stuff, and he's like, yeah, it's really cool. And so I've told him, like, dude, we just start playing this one-page rules. It's pretty sick. It's really easy to get into. He's like, yeah, it kind of sounds fun. I've written my brother about it, who's in Brazil right now, and he's like, dude, I hope you guys will still play that when I get back, because I want to play. Like, that sounds awesome. Yeah. He's also, again, never done wargaming.
Well, I think the biggest thing is that, for me, for example, I would never have jumped into Warhammer because of how daunting all of that rules and...
Never on your own,
No. The only way I got into was through you guys.
Having a friend help you through.
And you guys were kind enough to allow me to 3D print my guys, because there's zero chance I was going to spend thousands of dollars
for the GW plastic.
For the Games Workshop Kriegsman.
Their plastic is worth more, Steven.
It's crazy. It's crazy. But, so, I think all of our armies except for Collins are 3D printed now.
Yeah. Because they didn't give me space lizards.
Yeah.
I do have some of their official fantasy lizards, but...
Sure. But you even have a primer that makes them look like their official Games Workshop.
Yeah, I've got
the same color plastic.
Again, their plastic might be worth more, but I found their secret ingredient. I found their secret paint.
Rust-Oleum.
Yeah, Home Depot.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we can recommend it, even if you don't have a friend in wargaming. Jump into it, try it out. One-page rules.
You can even play yourself with it.
We'll leave a link in the description.
Good.
I don't know, why not? The community I've seen lately is kind of why I wanted to do this episode. I've seen the community around one-page rules. It's small, but it seems like it's kind of growing, like it's dedicated. There's a good amount of content creators out there
as well.
Yeah. So that's kind of cool. If that's what you like, you can just watch YouTube videos on the stuff. And it's fun. It's entertaining. The fan base is growing for it. Again, it's not competitive, so you might never see it at your local store unless your local store owner loves one-page rules.
Yeah. Well, and it's also not like, I don't think it'll ever be competitive.
Yeah.
Because the rules are meant to be flexible, and you can't have competition with flexible rules.
No, but if a store owner is like, hey, we're playing one-page rules, come grab a game, or we're running a campaign every Thursday night. Like,
yeah, and they use house rules.
Yeah.
That'd be fine, yeah.
Yeah, it's like... Sure. But as you said, at home with friends, by yourself, even like you get some boxes for terrain, and boom, you're good to go. Like,
yep.
Milk cartons and little paper cutouts. That's your army. Like,
yep. And it works. Now the models, I will say, are dope.
Yeah, they do have their official STLs you can 3D print because they work with a lot of creators and stuff. All look very cool.
Really reasonably priced.
Well made. You can always find them on sale too. Like.
What it was, we bought a 3 army set. Caleb and I did,
for $60.
For $60.
So it's $20 for like basically the full army.
Yeah, I think I'm missing like 1 or 2 little tiny. The bio swarms are the ones that was missing. Yeah, I mean $20.
That was a special sale, but even still, like not on sale, you can get like
under $100 for your army on the army list, though.
Which
with
is
compared to Games Workshop,
a box
stuff
of Warhammer stuff, maybe
which is
2.
not even close enough to getting a full army.
No, not even close.
Right, like, and also the points total is customizable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's something we didn't even talk about. I guess was like the community's growing. You can customize your army, you customize the points you're playing with. You can customize your units. Like people make units because it's just digital. It's all fantasy anyway.
Yep.
There's a whole like community list of people made armies. Like I saw one. They made like the Helldivers as an army.
That's funny.
In one-page rules, like you can do anything, or like the kaiju like from Pacific Rim. I'm like, that's pretty sweet. That army would be so.
If we just did an attrition battle instead of point objective.
Yeah, just like deathmatch, just kill.
I would 100% just do like, oh yes, my list is 4 kaiju.
I'm all. This is Godzilla. This is Godzilla's brother.
And this is King Kong.
King Kong. There you go. That's my army. And the rules are there. The rules are there for it. So.
Yeah, you just can't have it be 350 points.
That's right.
It has to be 349 points per unit.
If you're starting at 1,000.
If you're starting at 1,000, yeah. It's 35%.
It's not like Wild West. Like there are rules.
Yeah.
In one-page rules.
But also, the app tells you when you're breaking the rules.
Yeah, it tells you.
It's great.
And if your friends decide you don't want to, just don't follow the rules.
Yeah. Like we were debating the other day. I was 5 because of some point changes and stuff like that. I was 5 points over.
Yeah.
The 1,000 points.
And they almost never have like updates to the rules, but they happen to have one. And so it changed some points.
And I was like, I mean, I can take like an upgrade off of one of these guys, and we were like talking about it. It's like, yeah. And ultimately, I decided to just take the item off, so I was underneath the point total.
Sure.
And that unit didn't even actually ever shoot, which is hilarious.
Oh, that is funny. So it didn't even need the upgrade.
No. But yeah, it was. And now he has the upgrade again.
Ah, good. Trying to think. Yeah, that's one-page rules in a nutshell, man. We
I don't think we can recommend it highly enough.
The feels better, the community, the cost, the models, the rules, actual gameplay.
The gameplay is night and day.
Getting started, like new player experience.
100%.
Everything's better. It's just like, all right, the competitive play. That's what you want. All right, Warhammer 40K is still better at that. And the story, but you can just use the story in one-page rules.
Yeah, headcanon it. One more little anecdote of the benefit of one-page rules over Warhammer is we would play Warhammer, and even in 1v1s, it'd be 5 hours.
Yeah. And they claim 10th edition, you can get down to under 3 hours. But
and then whenever we did 4-player games, we'd get to end of round 2, end of round 3.
Yeah. And we're like, oof.
Out of 5, and it's like 10:30.
Yeah, it's like, it's
all right,
time to call it.
Pack this up. Whereas with our thing, we get through we finished the battle. Mm-hmm. I think last week it was at 10:20.
10, yeah.
10:20. I think it was 10, wasn't it?
And we took a little bit longer setting up, so the actual game length is shorter.
So for reference, on this specific Saturday, we got there at like 7, and then we set up and did some dinking around and showing off our new armies.
Yeah, we finally started by 8.
I think we fired the first shots at 8 o'clock or something like that. So
we had the terrain set up, which is nice. That helps.
So 2.5, 3 hours for that, and that was
a multiplayer.
That was a 4-player, 3.5 player game.
Which, and you never sat in one-page rules on a 1v1 game. It's quick.
I'm sure. Yeah.
The 1v1 game that we played, which with bigger armies too. Oh man, that thing zoomed.
Yeah.
That game flew by. Yeah. Hour and a half tops.
Which is crazy.
Because it's not the I go you go because of the alternating activations. You're never sitting down. You're constantly looking at your army. You're like, you're rolling dice. You're moving units. Like it's a fast paced game.
Yeah.
It's a lot more engaging.
Yeah.
With multiplayer, you have a little bit of downtime, but you can still make it very quick if everybody's engaged. Like you still fly through compared to Warhammer. which doesn't even officially have rules for multiplayer anyway. So we had to make things up.
We did. But it was a good time. Yeah, it
was good.
I think OPR is definitely the way to go in terms of tabletop gaming.
Yeah, big thumbs up. 10 out of 10. 9 out of 10. I don't know. There's room for improvement always, I guess.
But they're trying.
They're trying. Yeah.
They're trying to improve it. So
yeah,
I'd say 9.2 out of 10.
Sure.
So
fantastic game.
I would agree. All right, what is our couple other things here?
We got a couple minutes left before we got to jump into our final segment.
Do we want to talk about the thing?
Can we do it in 5 minutes? Or maybe we should by next week. That's going to be out of the...
I can do it in 5 minutes.
You can do it in 5 minutes?
I can do it in 5 minutes.
Hit me with it.
All right.
The thing.
Should I make a joke about it or no?
I mean, this is a comedy podcast. Right. So.
Our Lord and Savior.
I did see plenty of those, actually.
I did as well. It was hilarious.
That joke's going to make sense in 10 seconds.
Yeah, so we're not a political podcast. But interesting stuff happened. Donald Trump was convicted of 34 counts of falsifying business records.
Yes, falsifying business.
Which has just been blowing up all over the political space.
Yeah.
And
the interwebs.
I'm going to be honest. This is my 5-minute thing. I don't give a crap.
I don't care.
I really
Who cares?
Oh, but Steve, but if you vote for Donald Trump, you're not voting for a felon. Every president's a felon. Yeah. Every president since after Eisenhower has been a felon.
I was like, you guys know the history, Grant was a president, right?
Yeah, also that. Also that. Also, yeah, you know, Abe Lincoln kind of suspended part of the Constitution, right? Yeah, he did some great things, but also legally broke the highest law of the land. I don't know if that's your benchmark. Your president's a felon. Okay, what did he do? He falsified some business records. All right. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure that all of those Syrians that we bombed since 2001 have really cared about the business records of all of the presidents. Yeah. Who cares, dude? It's a civil court case anyway, isn't it? No, it's a felon. Okay, it is. He is a felon. It's a criminal. Yeah, he is technically a felon now. He's a felon. Okay. Well, I believe in redemption for felons personally. So well, there's also that aspect, right? For sure. But just the idea of, I've seen it all over the place where it's and for the record, I don't know who I'm voting for. And yeah. Right? There's still plenty of months. I don't know who I'm voting for. Yeah. It's something that I think about reasonably regularly if I'm going to vote. It's an election year. Who I'm going to vote for, or if I'm going to vote. But I personally believe you should vote always. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about voting. It's another thing I've been thinking about recently. Maybe that's a topic for another day. Yeah. Yeah. Or just personal conversation between us. That's true. Yeah. Argentina makes you vote. It's required by law to vote, but they give you time off of work. I'm okay with that. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I like the idea of this is your civil duty to vote, but also getting the day off. It was annoying when it was on Sundays because then people just didn't go to church. I'm like, come on, guys, this is Sunday. This is the Lord's Day. It's interesting that they would put it on a Sunday. Yeah, because a lot of people already aren't working. So that makes sense. Dang, but yeah. Anyway, so I don't know who I'm voting for. Just as a disclaimer, he's a Trump supporter. It's I'm not. Do you see this hat? This is an American flag, not a Trump flag. Yeah, I'm pro America. I definitely understand when people are I don't want him as president. I get that. Sure. I get it. I don't understand when people say I want Biden as president. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. I will say, not a Biden fan. I'm okay with it. I don't know if I'm voting for RFKJ or Donald Trump or I just watched the Libertarian Party. Oh yeah, their thing, and they just elected some dingus of
that was this week as well. I forgot about
that. They were not elected, but
they nominated.
The Libertarian Party nominee is like he's like almost just anyway. So I don't know who I'm voting for, but like also this isn't going to sway me either way. But you're voting for a felon. Like I said, literally every president has crimes against humanity.
Yeah. Either during office or before or after, like that doesn't.
It does not change my opinion about it.
I don't care. This is like, it's a criminal case, but it's the state of New York with a businessman. That doesn't affect me at all. I don't care.
Also, you brought up a good point. It's the state of New York. Everyone's a felon in New York because there's so many freaking laws. I walk into New York naked. And I walk in with gym shorts and a t-shirt on.
Naked, you're probably allowed.
That's true. Yeah. You're not wrong. I walk in gym shorts and a t-shirt. Nothing else.
You're breaking some law.
I'm a felon.
Yeah.
Immediately.
There's something you're doing wrong.
Yeah. Let alone like anyone who has a hobby of some sort that's not painting vaginas on the side of a wall.
Specific, but it's New York, so I get what you mean. Yeah. It's just the president already has such little significance in the day-to-day life of the average American. So like an ex-president who is running for president again, having the results of a criminal trial come out, that's so irrelevant to you 300 million something Americans or other people in the world who care about this. I don't know why they would. It's so irrelevant to you. Why do you go on, move on with your life? I don't care.
Yeah.
And I'm even a Trump supporter. I'm Republican. Again, I don't know.
Yeah.
Conservative. And I don't care. And I don't give a crap either way, like you said. Like, so why should anybody?
And I've seen a bunch. It's really funny because I've seen a bunch of left-wing media and people saying like, this is a blow to the Trump camp, blah 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 blah.
And I've seen the right is just like, this is horrendous. I can't believe this.
I've seen that, and I've also seen people comparing him to Jesus and Julius Caesar, and
I can't believe
it's like, this is the moment right before he crosses the Rubicon. It's like, first of all,
why does everybody just chill?
That's not how this works. He's not a general with like thousands of troops just behind his back no matter what.
Coming back to what we said earlier, have these people read history books?
Like, do you know how this works?
Yeah.
Like, first of all, not the son of God.
Nope.
Contrary to popular belief.
Nope.
It's like, people get falsely imprisoned and falsely accused all the time in this country.
Especially in New York.
Especially in New York. And, so I don't even know what the law specifically states for like what I did not pay attention to the trial at all.
I'd probably just pay bail, I think. I don't know. Like,
I don't know how it works.
Not going to jail.
But, yeah, I don't know. And I don't even know what like the law specifically was that he broke.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's like falsifying business records. It's like
34 counts. So what's the punishment? I don't know.
But also, like, what is the negative aspect of that? Like, it's like, okay, but did he still pay taxes on that money?
Right.
And if he did, why do we care what the books look like? Like, as long as he's not like falsifying it to reduce his taxes.
Yeah.
Even then, also, taxes are theft.
Tax code, tax loopholes.
Yeah.
I'm all for that.
Like, that's craziness. So like, I just don't. But like, it's a New York law that they have on the books that like probably is stupid because a lot of New York laws are stupid. Like, objectively, it shouldn't
have even been blown in this proportion. But like left, right, it shouldn't affect anything.
Yeah,
who cares?
It's just,
that was our little bit longer than 5 minutes, but yeah. Woo, Trump's.
Who cares?
Who cares? We'll end it on a light note because I have our.
All I can say is for the emperor. Just for the heritage.
That's right. What do they say? And they shall know no fear.
They shall know no fear.
That's a Warhammer 40K reference for everybody who's curious. I have our fun, lighthearted magic segment. So, because we're short on time, Well, I don't know. I can talk about it. I wanted to talk about one just briefly from Modern Horizons 3, actually.
Okay, cool.
Not a great card. In fact, it's actually a watered down effect of an old card, so it's nothing to write home about.
Anti-power creep.
Anti-power creep. Very odd. But it's a cursed wombat.
Is it a creature type wombat?
Yeah, it's a creature type nightmare wombat.
Is that new? Is wombat new?
I don't remember if it was new, but wombat sounded awesome enough.
I agree.
Nope, it's not. I knew this. Rabid wombat. That'll be my card then. 1997, the rabid wombat. That thing looks scary.
That thing looks really scary. Vigilance and +2/+2 for each enchantment on it. For each creature enchantment on it.
Oh, so auras.
Yeah.
The rabid wombat. Here's the nightmare wombat. This is coming out.
All right.
2 mana, 2/3. He does stuff with 1/1 counters.
Adapt 2. If his creature has no 1/1 counters on it, put 2 1/1 counters on it, and you pay 4 for that.
Yeah.
Makes it into a 4/5 for
6 mana total.
6 mana. It's not really great.
But the second ability.
Permanents you control have, whenever 1 or more 1/1 counters are put on this permanent, put an additional 1/1 counter on it. It's triggered only once each turn.
Yeah, that's the watered down part.
It's not even a common.
No, yeah, it's an uncommon.
Not very good.
No. Not very good, but it's a scary looking wombat. So
I mean, it's okay. It's not like amazing though.
Yeah.
Wait, so does it give itself 3 counters?
So it would give itself 3 counters, yeah. So for 6 mana investment, it's a 6/5? No, 5/6.
5/6.
Yeah.
6 mana for 5/6 is not good.
No, it's not good. But it's all your other permanents can get more 1/1 counters on them, but only once each turn.
There's a bunch of other cards that do whenever, not a bunch, but like 4 cards that do something similar. There's an enchantment that does it.
Yeah.
There's creatures that do it. That's interesting.
Yeah, reverse power creep. But
it's cool that they have a new wombat, though.
New wombat. Pretty soon we'll get wombat tribal. Probably not pretty soon.
Probably not.
But the rabid wombat and the cursed wombat.
Yeah. What was going to be your card?
I was going to talk about the new common legendary.
Common legend? Ooh, that's interesting.
For Pauper, right? For all the Pauper players.
Pauper Commander.
No, not Pauper Commander. Pauper Commander has an uncommon as the commander, and the rest of the deck is common. So it's funny because Pauper Commander would be the only set that would
not run this.
That would maybe run it,
but
they can't. It's not legal. So for Modern Horizons 3, but I was going to link because he's not the first common legendary. This not counting the Legends set, which had a bunch of just
dinky
bad common legendaries that were literally just vanilla creatures. They were abysmal. There are actually 2 other legitimate common legendaries who are also mono red. So the new guy is Skoa Ember Mage. He's a 6 mana 4/4 goblin wizard. And when he enters the battlefield, he deals 4 damage to any target. It's a tick on a Fire Blast, an old spell called Fire Blast. Just 6 mana to deal 4 damage. But he's got this weird ability called Grandeur. So you have to discard another card named Skoa Ember Mage. You have to discard another one of him while he's on the board, as well as sacrifice 2 mountains, and then he can deal 4 damage to any target again. Which is the alternate casting cost for Fire Blast. Because it's a 6 mana, deal 4 damage to any target, but it's bad, or you can instead sacrifice 2 mountains. So they put that effect on a creature. It's kind of a cool nostalgia hit. And the Fire Blast Goblin Wizard, who's a common legendary, but you need multiple copies of him. It's not good, but it's funny.
It's interesting.
And the other 2 actual real common legendaries, because I had to look this up. I was like, common legendaries from really old. I think this is Arabian Nights or something. It's really old. Yeah, really old set. Homelands, which was regarded as one of the worst sets ever in Magic.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, Homelands is so bad.
Was that?
I can find it for you after. It's not saying here.
Okay.
If I had to guess, it's 90s.
90s, gotcha.
They have a kind of a pair of 2 mono red common legendary creatures. The one here his name is Chandler. It's just a dude.
Is the other one's named Joey?
It's close. It's a Joven.
Oh, come on.
I don't know, but maybe.
In the 90s when Friends was like the show?
You have Chandler and Joven in your Magic the Gathering. They're just common, though. They're not that good. It's a 5-mana. Just Chandler is a 5-mana 3/3. It's probably a human. Probably just a human. But the old text just says Summon Legend. His 5-mana 3/3. His tap ability is 3 red to destroy target artifact creature. That's it. And then Joven, very similar, 5-mana 3/3, 3 red mana tap, destroy target non-creature artifact. That's what you get. That's the mileage you get out of a common legendary. And now you get the new Goblin Wizard to join the party of like.
Which is also bad.
Is also bad.
I feel like there's commons that are way better than that.
Yeah.
Like, for example, a 2-mana mana dork that taps for 4 freaking mana.
That's not a common, but yes.
Oh, I thought it was a common.
No, it's not. It's not a legendary.
Right.
But this guy.
Was it a common or was it a rare?
It was a rare, pretty sure. But this guy can be your commander.
True.
It's abysmal. All of these are abysmal, but it was a fun glimpse into Magic history. Find some legendary commons.
It's very interesting, for sure.
Yeah, because a few years ago, I know people kind of remarked of like when they started doing more legendary uncommons, you're like, are they really legendary anymore?
Sure.
If they're just kind of lame.
It should be mythics. Right?
So now, like 10 years down the line, maybe we'll have even more common legendaries. They're going to saturate the card pool. It's goofy. It's fun.
Interesting.
And with that,
we will end the OPR episode.
That's right. A comprehensive OPR episode.
Review.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway.
Thanks for watching. Thank you for watching this week's episode of the 5G Podcast.
Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to see more.
And we'll see you next time.
Thanks.